Good evening and salutations, my Days of Alliance fans. So, Beyond Salem. Overall, I'm gonna just sit there and say that I love it so far. I really do. Just everything about it so far. Let's talk about Ciara and Ben. Now, for me personally, there is a glaring problem with those two. And how do I sit there and put it? They're too on top of each other. Like all the time. You know? You ever saw that couple that just like does PDA all the time? They're just like all over each other and you're just like, just get a room. That's how Ben and Ciara are. Like all the time. And it gets to a point where it's like, alright, I get it. You guys love each other. You're into each other. Do you mind like giving each other some space for like 2 minutes? Like they're always like on top of each other. It's just it makes it hard and sometimes uncomfortable to sit there and watch those two. But with that being said, the one thing that I do like particularly about this episode and just whatever is that Ben and Ciara so far has been really, really boring. And in this show, they're giving them something to do. That's been my... I've complained about them a lot, but that's been my one major complaint. Is give them something to do. And in this episode, they give them something to do. So I gotta sit there and give them props. So then they're in New Orleans. And they come across this shop. They see this ruby, or a necklace or whatever. And, Ben's like, I want to sit there and buy it. So, they wait until it's open. And the shop person comes in and she's like, I can't give it to you because I'm waiting for a client to sit there and buy it. She's been, she's been looking at this for a while, so, I gotta give it to her. She's like royalty or something like that. So, they seem a little kind of disappointed. And then they look. I don't know what happened, but at some point they take a look. And at first they thought it was Hope. Apparently she was brainwashed into being some princess or something. So they walk up to her, and I'm not going to lie. Ciara walks up to her, grabs her by her shoulder, and turns her around like, she wants to know who it is. But I'm just not there looking like, sweetheart, if you just walk up to some random person that you may or may not know and grab them by the shoulder, there's a good chance they're going to hit you in the face. Just because. I looked and I was just like, yo, this chick's serious? So she turns her around. Apparently there's this woman named Billy. I saw her years ago. Years ago when I used to be watching, I used to watch One Life to Live. I remember tuning in Channel 2 for some odd reason. I think it was a commercial break. I tuned in and I saw her, Lisa Rinna. So, right off the bat, I knew who she was. I'm not going to lie, I don't understand the connection really between Billy and Ciara, but anyway, she finds out what's going on, and it turns out that Billy's in the theater, she's undercover, and she's trying to get this diamond. Now, this whole thing, it seems about trying to, like this whole show or miniseries has a lot to do with diamonds and getting them back, like to the ISA or wherever, whatever. So that's her assignment, and so she quickly catches up with Ciara and Ben and everything like that, and then she goes back in there. Something happens. I don't know what it is, but she was supposed to be going in to get the diamond. Next thing you know, she's running back up to Ben and Ciara like, yo, did you see, two people, they walked, they ran out with it or whatever, like, the diamond. So now she's on this chase or whatever, and she got to get Ben, because Ben was the only person that sort of kind of recognized whoever it was that left with the diamond. And that's pretty much where it ends off. Well, for them anyway. I'm glad that they, I'm glad that they gave him something to do. Because I did my day's review earlier, and I was sitting there talking about that as far as like give them something to do. They gave him something to do. Now, if they can just do something about the constant PDA, might be on a really good track. I mean, question. Um, have they always been like that? Like just like on top of each other, just constantly kissing and hugging? Like, is that something that they always used to do? Because when I started watching this, and they were looking for Gwen at the time. And I remember me sitting there joking about like the stupid poses that they were doing while they were like looking at the map or whatever. And well, they were on each other a lot even back then. But I'm just wondering, have they always been like that? Because, to be honest, it's kind of obnoxious to sit there and watch that. I'm glad that they're doing something, so whatever, but that's just, ugh. But yeah, question, have they always actually been, like, on each other like that? Chad is a interesting character. Because for the most part, he kind of comes across as a dick. But when it's people he actually likes and he actually cares about, he actually comes across as a genuine, nice person. I mean, obviously yes, because it's his loved ones and everything like that. But it just seems like he just has like two extreme sides. Like there's one minute he could be in Gabby's face, looking like he's ready to manhandle her, and then the next, he's all huggy and super affectionate and, very concerned and, like, empathetic. Like, it's just like, it's almost like I'm watching this episode, it's like, well, which version am I going to get today? Okay, cool, he's going to be the nice, genuine human person. Like, human being side. Okay, alright. So, he's there. He shows up at Will's and Sonny's place. And automatically, there is this tension. One second. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That instrument was just getting way louder than it should have been. Anyway, he gets there, and there's this huge tension between Sonny and Will. And Will is all, he's ready to go off. He has a story, whatever to do. So he leaves, and this is after they start, like, sniping at each other for a little bit. So, Will leaves, and after a while, because when in the sniping, Sonny was talking about, oh, well, I run my own company, whatever, and I make time for him and stuff like that, and you can't sit there and do that. So, like, there was some tension that was going on. So he leaves. Long story short, by the way, this is, new Sonny. Which, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not even surprised. It's weird. I actually forgot about it. I remember, Soap Opera Digest was sitting there talking about the show and the new Sonny. And I'm not gonna lie, when it first said new Sonny, I was like, you mean General Hospital new Sonny? What are you talking about? But then I realized, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's two Sonnys. Damn it. They really couldn't have named him anyone. They really couldn't have named him any other name. I guess the question is which Sonny appeared first between General Hospital Sonny and Sonny from Days. Anyway, so new Sonny basically is sitting thinking that Will is having an affair. He dates it back to this other time that he did it before, when he lost his memory, then they were just like dating a whole bunch of other people. Chad was like, yo, listen, you don't know that for sure, just talk to him. There could be a logical explanation of why he is dipping and he's being all secretive and stuff like that. I mean, you have to sit there and kind of remember a couple of things. He's a reporter. There's certain things that you can't always sit there and tell Sonny. But at the same time, I understand where Sonny is coming from. You know, the guy is leaving first thing in the morning, come back late at night, not really saying much, constantly, you know, turns this, you know, like if he's texting or whatever, he's kind of being like very secretive about it. So I understand, like I get where he's coming from as far as, you know, like, well, what's going on? Like, you're mad secretive. Especially since he's been a reporter for a while, and I'm gonna assume that this isn't, you know, this is probably the first time he's been like this hush-hush about what he's doing, as far as his work is concerned. So, he thinks he's having an affair. They call up the office, because Sonny was like, you know, I'm gonna be in the office, Will's like, I'm gonna be in the office all day. And Chad calls up, and he tells Sonny, like, yo, he's not at the office. But I'm sure there must be a logical explanation. I don't know what it is, but it's something. He also, you know, kind of he also sit there and share some stuff from, you know, as far as you know, Chad and the affair and stuff like that. It's like, you know, he told, and not so many words. He didn't really talk about the affair, but he basically was like, he jumped to the raw conclusion with Abby. And now, because of his actions, he doesn't even know if he has a marriage anymore. Basically, Snitch saying, listen, learn from my mistakes. Don't do what I did. But Sonny's not having it. And that's to tell you the truth, him not knowing what's going on is literally Snitch eating him alive. Like, on a mental note. So, he looked up his credit confirmation, saw a hotel, and automatically, I'm not gonna lie, even me saying it out loud, the fact that he lied about where he is, and he booked a hotel, yeah, so at this point, Sonny's like, yeah, I'm going over there. And Chad's like, alright, I'll go over there, I'll go with you, just to make sure you don't do anything stupid. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, as far as, wow, he actually sounded like a human being, like he was all decent and nice. You know, he's not there hugging, you know, he's hugging Sonny and everything like that. Now, back in Salem, anyway, they both go to the hotel. They knock on the door, and someone answers, which is Leo Stark. I have no idea who that is. I guess he's another, you know, because they were saying it's like, you know, it's going to be a lot of, you know, old recurring characters or whatever, like, you know, making an appearance and stuff. And I don't know if that's the same actor or whatever, or character, I have no idea, but anyway, that's another blast from the past. Anna and Tony get to Carrie's place, and, you know, Anna's all like, you know, so what's going on with your marriage and stuff like that, and Austin comes out, and Austin is annoyed. Okay, he's annoyed because he's like, yo, listen, you flew your parents all the way out here because, what, we had an argument? Like, really? So at some point, Carrie goes, I guess, into the living room or wherever, or she goes into the kitchen, and Austin pretty much says, because, you know, Anna's like, you know, what's going on? Is it marriage trouble? Is it a new guy, a new girl? Like, what's up? Talking about the argument, Carrie leaves. So Austin explains to them that he got into an argument with his wife, had a couple of drinks, probably one too many, and he throws up the affair, you know, the affair that I guess Carrie had in her face. You know, he brings that up like he's still angry about that. So he brought it up, they got into an argument, and, you know, they're working it out. Now at this point, I'm sitting there looking at this whole thing, and I'm like, so Anna, let me get this straight. Your daughter was sitting there crying about an argument that her and her husband had. You flew halfway across the world, go all the way down there, to realize that they had an argument because one person drank too much? Really? That was worth the big emergency that you went to Roman about, talking about, oh, we gotta sit there and go down there. And I'm just like, really? Like, I'm gonna be honest. Anna reminds me of too many women over the years that have annoyed the living hell out of me. That have turned something so small into something so giant. Anyway, Austin plans on making it up to her by getting this diamond, or with this necklace with this stone or whatever. He wants to go down and do it, but apparently I guess he's famous or whatever. He doesn't want the paparazzi around. So, Anna and Tony decides to go down there, to the auction in his place. I'm just sitting there looking at this whole thing, and I'm like, granted, it's cool that you want to sit there. Granted, I guess when you really sit there and look at it, yeah, it was flying down there for something that really wasn't that big of a deal. But, while you're there, you can sit there and visit and catch up, so it's not like it's a total loss. But the way she tried to put it, like, oh, we gotta get down there to save their marriage, like, grown-ass adults. You don't even know what the fight was about. They had an argument because he drank too much, and he got jealous, which is something that he clearly needs to either work through, or I don't know. See, this is what I mean by, one second. I remember I posed this question before, and I posted on the review towards GH or whatever, but I guess the question is, if someone cheated on you, you're married, someone cheated on you, would you be able to forgive them? Would you be able to forgive that person? Because I don't know what the circumstance with Austin and Carrie as far as that's concerned. Whatever it is, this is something that he clearly did not get over. And he had a couple of drinks, and he threw it in her face. But the thing is, it's like, this dude is still hurting from that. And I know people sit there and try to work it out for their marriage and yada yada yada, but sometimes certain things are just broken and they just can't be fixed. Like, cheating. That's not something that I feel like you can just fix. And people try to do it because, they sit there and go with their excuse. And I hate to sit there and say, oh, we're doing this for the kids, we don't, we don't want to break up a happy home, so we're doing this for the kids. And it's like, you're just making it worse. And you're setting a bad example for your children in the long run, but whatever. So the fact that he just threw it in her face because he got upset, because he was drinking, he got upset. What happens if he's sober and he gets angry? I don't know. I feel like him, even the fact he's like, oh, I'm gonna sit there and buy this necklace, just really show how much I love her, and I'm like, that's something you need to work out with a therapist. Buying jewelry and everything else, that's not gonna fix the problem, but sure, whatever. So yeah, Anna and Tony go down there for the auction to bid on the jewelry. And you got, I'm not gonna lie, it was so weird seeing him. So when John and Marlena get, I guess, to the hotel or whatever, they meet up with, I guess, John's contact, which is so weird because I don't know who his character is on this show, but on General Hospital, he's Victor Cassadine. And it's just so weird. It's like, granted, I know that Justin, plays Ned, but it's just like, what are we doing? Anyway, pretty much the guy brings him down there because, they catch him up on the history of this jewel that got stolen and then it got brought back. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a little kind of confused on, well, most of that story they was telling. Anyway, John's assignment is to go down there and to bid on you know, this necklace with this jewel. And Johnny was like, well, how high can I go? And the guy's like, oh, well, you know, you can go as high as you need to go. But try not to go too high, because, you know, our budget isn't what it used to be. What? I don't understand. You just... How do you tell somebody to go to an auction to win, whatever the prize is, but then say, well, try not to go too crazy, because, you know, we're on a budget. Isn't the whole purpose of him actually going... Isn't the whole purpose of you actually bringing him from Salem to... I don't even know where you are, but bringing him from Salem to here to go to the auction to bid on the item, so that way whatever John's, I don't know, CIA or whatever, they can get the item back. So how you gonna sit there and give him a budget to work on? Anyway, they give him a gun that they made from a 3D printer, which, I'm not gonna lie, I've heard of those things, but I didn't think they was actually, like, I gotta look into that. Like, could they actually make a gun out of a 3D printer? Like, that's insane. Anyway, they give him a gun, and they're like, yo, listen, we don't expect any trouble, but, you know, you're not the only person that's, like, let's put it this way, there's other interested parties that's going to be attending this auction, so I don't think it's going to be any trouble, but, you know, you should know just in case. So, that's his mission, and I'm not going to lie, I'm actually kind of excited. At one point, Claire was sitting there talking about John being their version of 007 back in the day. And I'm like, okay, granted, I wasn't watching the show in the 90s or whatever, so I guess I missed all his glory days, but if he has a chance to actually kind of do some spy stuff, I'm with it. I'm with it. I remember me actually sitting there saying that way back, like, oh man, I wonder what it'd be like if he, you know, kind of got back into the spy game a little bit, and this seems kind of like his alley, so I'm like, I'm with it. I'm with it. So that's their plan. They go down to the auction, and of course they run into Anna and Tony, which is weird. I mean, I remember Marlena Smith there talking about she wanted to sit there and visit Carrie and Austin. What is Austin and Carrie's relation to Marlena? I mean, I just found out that Roman and Anna's daughter is Carrie. It's so confusing. It's so confusing. They both have... Okay, so Anna... Okay, hold on. Let me... So Rome and Anna has a daughter, and Rome and Marlena has a daughter. Damn. Yo, they are... I remember Gwen made a joke way back that everyone in that town is pretty much connected, and now I'm just like, damn. Anyway, I think the last group of people is Paulina, Lonnie, and this is not going to hold.